Inside Out, welcome. We are so glad that you joined us today. My name is Alex, and we hope you guys are doing well. Today is a very special day. It is Senior Sunday, where in just a few moments we're going to get to hear a little bit from a few of our seniors, which is going to be absolutely unbelievable. And so before we do that, I would love for us to take a second just to be able to sing together and be reminded of this hope and promise that we have in Jesus, that in any and every season of our lives, that we can build our hope, our lives, and our trust upon who He is and upon His promise. So I would love for you to sing along with me. We sing worthy. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We sing the name of Jesus. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever sing. You're worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Yes, we live for you. We sing holy. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Yes, we sing He is worthy. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Yes, you are worthy. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. Oh, we live for you, Lord. We sing holy, holy. There is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart. Lead me in love to those around me. Lead us in your love. Lead us in your love, Jesus. I will build my life, and I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart. And lead me in love to those. And I will build my life. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I guys. Thank you so much for singing along with me.
Hey, Inside Out. What's up? It's Heath. And like everything else right now, I'm here on Zoom. And I've got 5 of our class of 2020 seniors who have joined me this week on Zoom as they get done with their 4 years of Inside Out. We wanted to just kind of highlight some of our seniors and just kind of the contributions that they've made in Inside Out and just kind of hear from them and some of their stories. I know a lot of times you guys get tired of hearing from me and everybody else that speaks on stage at Inside Out. So this week we're going to let you hear from some fellow high school students just like you, or I guess you guys are high school students at least for another week or so until you're actually done with school. So this week I've got 5 high school students with us. A lot of you guys are probably going to recognize them. These are our 5 senior interns this year. And just to be honest with you guys, they are 5 incredible young men and young women. So I'm so excited for you guys to get to hear from them this week. And I'll do my best as to not say too much and just ask some questions and kind of let them do a lot of the talking, which is kind of hard for me. But this week, I've got 5 people. I'm going to introduce them to you, and then I've got some questions that I sent them and kind of get their brains turning over to come up with some good answers for y'all. So this week, we have 5 high school seniors with us, and they are Mary Madden Pearson. Mary Madden, wave to everybody. There's Mary Madden. There's Halle Dobby. Halle, if you could wave to everyone. We got Grayson McKinney. Grayson, if you can wave to everybody. There's Grayson. We got Kyle Allison. Kyle, if you could wave to everybody. There's Kyle. And last but certainly not least, Martine Mejia, if you could wave to everybody. Hey, Martine, good to see you. All right, hey, thank you guys so much for joining us. I really appreciate you guys jumping in here. And I know everybody's tired of Zoom calls and they're tired of online stuff like we all are in this season. But I'm hoping this will be kind of fun because it's not just me talking into a camera, but it's me getting to talk with some of my friends here. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to dive right in with question number 1. The first question I asked is, knowing what you know now, if you could go back and tell yourself how to have the best possible experience at Inside Out, what would you tell yourself? And Grayson, if you will, kick us off with that one. What would you tell yourself if you could go back and give yourself some advice? Freshman year Grayson, what would you say?
Yeah. So freshman year Grayson was kind of a smaller, quieter guy. And if y'all know me, I'm not a very small and quiet guy right now. I'm loud and I talk too much and I love people. But if I were to tell freshman year Grayson how I get the best experience out of Inside Out, it would be 3 words. It's jump right in. Jump right in. Get involved in everything. Speak out in your small group. Go to events. Go to retreats. Go meet new people. Get as involved as you can possibly be in Inside Out. And it's a scary thing to do, especially when you're new to all this, because, there's a bunch of bigger people around and, social interaction's scary sometimes. I'll be honest, man. It's hard to talk to people. But if you want to get the absolute best experience out of your 4 years at Inside Out, absolutely just jump right in and give it your all. Talk in small group, be involved in everything. You will get so much out of it, I promise.
That was a really good answer, Grayson. Kyle, I think you had one too, if you want to jump in there.
Yeah, I'm basically just going to piggyback off Grayson. That was really good. Definitely for me, I was kind of the same way. I was quieter. It would just be to get involved, meet new people. If you knew me freshman year, most of y'all probably don't or didn't. I was very shy, very quiet person. And I definitely changed over the years, went and met a lot of new people. And it's probably the best thing I could have ever done. I definitely invest in my small group and just keep coming back. If it's quiet a week, work on it next week. Answer the questions. If you're the first to answer every question, that's perfectly fine because then someone else will have another answer. And that's probably my biggest thing is just the small group talks.
That's great. You guys have done a great job of jumping in and contributing and making Inside Out not just some place where you come and learn and listen, but also a place where you get to own it and you participate and you make it what it is. And so thank you guys for that answer. All right, that was question number 1. Question number 2, what is your favorite Inside Out memory and why? Mary Madden, kick us off with that one.
I think we were all talking about how there's so many to choose from. But I think that the one, I guess, like what I remember the most, and so that's why it's my favorite, would be my junior year walk because one, that was my first walk, so that was super exciting, so much fun. But also, that was like a big thing for me in high school has been praying about friends, and I think that is when I first kind of saw God start to answer that prayer for me with my friends. Like that was when I went to the Philippines for the first year, and so at the walk, like we were doing stuff with our trip team, and then also just like my friends now. That's when I first started kind of getting to meet them and stuff, and like really just could notice like God's presence in my life and like that area, and also the growth that was happening. So I think that I remember that the most, and that was really special for me. But
That's good. I think mission trips are a great way to make a lot of great memories, and with some people who are a little bit outside of your normal circle that aren't in your circle. So
for sure.
That's awesome. That's great. Martine, what about you? What's a favorite Inside Out memory and why?
Like Mary Madden said, there's hundreds of memories of those, but I guess the one my decision to get baptized my sophomore year. I'd been close to Jesus for a while, but I never really felt comfortable taking that next step. But Inside Out really just pushed me to just make my faith public. And it was just something that really drove me. And it was such a special experience that I'll never forget.
That's awesome, man. We love baptism stories and we love hearing about baptisms. And Kyle, I think yours was kind of similar. Do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, definitely. Mine was also my baptism. I got baptized my junior year, and it was probably the best decision of my life. I was just like Martine. Grew up at Brownsbridge Church since second grade, gone through Upstreet Transit. I've always had like a relationship with God, but I've never like taken that extra step. And just to take that extra step and go public with my faith, it was really good. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude, that's great. We love baptism stories. And those of you who are watching, if you haven't been baptized, you can go to brownsbridge.org/InsideOut and look on our page. And there's a link there you can fill out if you're interested in being baptized. We'd love to be able to do that for you. It might be after we all get done with the quarantine isolation season, but that doesn't mean you can't go ahead and start that process and get the stuff filled out, because we love celebrating you guys and we love celebrating what God has done in your life. And as you can tell, that's a big point in your faith and a big point in your walk with the Lord. That was some of the best memories that Martine and Kyle had in Inside Out. So that's great, guys. All right, number 3, what has been the most influential thing in your life in helping you grow closer to God during high school and during your Inside Out years? Halle, why don't you lead us off with this one?
I think that a lot of things have really shaped me and grew my relationship a lot, but I feel like I really saw a turn, and my relationship began to grow exponentially when I started to root my life in the truth that God uses all things for good. My small group leader, when I was going through a tough time, pointed me to the verse Romans 8:28, and it talks all about that. And I think that once I was able to see that, it just changed everything, and it makes the good times more exciting, but it also makes the hard times more comforting, knowing that when life doesn't go our way, especially times like right now, knowing that God is going to pick up the pieces from our stories and he's going to ultimately use them for so much good and redeem them.
Halle, that's awesome. And thank you for sharing that. I think that just what we've learned during the season can be so influential in us. And I love just hearing what God has taught you during the last several years of high school. That's awesome. Grayson, why don't you go next? Take this one away. What's been most influential for you during your high school years and growing closer to God?
Yeah, so I would say my growth with God was kind of weird because I grew up in the church like most of us did. And, so I'd always had that kind of idea of like, yeah, I'm a Christian, I have a relationship with God. But I think it really hit me my sophomore year whenever I went to the Philippines with Martine and Mary Madden my first time. And, I realized like there's so much more to having a relationship with God than just going to church. And if you want my, like, I call this my, my get rich quick scheme to being a good Christian, having a good relationship with God, patent pending. 3 steps. It's super simple. First of all, start talking to God. That is the easiest part. That is the easiest thing you can do for yourself to improve your relationship with God. Growing up, my dad just told me God is like, he's just like your dad. You just want to sit down and have a conversation with him. It doesn't have to be some kind of super formal ritual. Just talk with him in the car if you want. Talk with him about whatever's going on in your life, how you're feeling, what you're thinking about. Talk with him about anything. He wants to hear from you, and he wants to know you personally. Step 2, start reading his word. So when you're not talking to God, start reading the Bible, as boring as it is. Even read the exciting parts. Start reading it, because God is speaking to you in ways even when he's not actively speaking to you, because he has left an instruction manual to life for you in the Bible. And some parts of it are kind of cool, some parts of it are kind of boring, but I promise you, start reading it. Get on a plan, get in a Bible study, get with something, start reading it. It will change your life. Step 3, get involved. Do volunteer work. For me, I'd say mission trips. Like, I love mission trips. I love mission work. It was in the Philippines my first year when I feel like I saw God with my own eyes. And I feel like a lot of the time the reason that people have difficulty connecting with God is because he's a big figure, right? It's hard to think about what it's like to be God. And if you want to feel like you're in the presence of Jesus and you want to know how Jesus loved people, go on a mission trip, because you will know unconditional love given to you and you giving it to others. You will know love like nobody else. And that doesn't have to be in a foreign country. That can be right here at home. That can be wherever you are. Just start serving and start loving people and giving back to others. And I promise you, your relationship with God and your relationship with people will explode. It's going to be crazy. So, yeah.
That's a great answer, Grayson. I think that all those are great ways to connect with God, especially the serving piece. Brownsbridge Church would not be what it is if not for so many Inside Out students who serve in Wamba Land and in Upstreet and in Transit and in guest services and all the different places that you guys serve. It makes Brownsbridge a special place. And then mission trips are just such a quick place that you can grow a lot in your faith. And Martine, I think you had one about how you've grown a lot in your faith during your time during Inside Out. And what's been the most influential for you, man?
First off, Grayson, that was a great answer. That was awesome. Just to go off of what he said, for me, I say it all the time to the people who know me, but I would not have been the person I was, or have had an opportunity to even do things like the internship for Inside Out and other things. And I wouldn't have the faith that I had without my small group and the small group leaders that I had. I feel like our small group especially was able to create a really quick bond. And we were able to be very vulnerable with each other. And it created just an atmosphere of just trust that I'd never really found anywhere else. And just a little bit about me, when I go through something, or when I've gone through difficult things in the past to anyone else, I try to handle it by myself. It caused me to just be really quiet and just very distant from people. But my small group and my small group leaders kind of like pushed me to get out of that, and it encouraged everyone else to get out of whatever they were dealing with as well. And just another thing, the small group that you have, if you're able to invest in it, and if you're able to just be vulnerable with each other and with your small group leaders and really lean on each other, that's not a small group for high school, and those aren't mentors for high school. That's a small group for life, and those are leaders for life. And I feel like I'm leaving high school with best friends for life that are my small group, and amazing mentors that are my small group leaders that I can lean on whenever I need it. And I think those were absolutely the most influential just pieces of my faith in high school.
Man, that was a great answer. And your video kind of froze there for a second, but your audio came through great. And so I thought that was so good. And for me, like, that is especially just like warms my heart to hear, because I mean, small groups is the backbone of everything we do in Inside Out. And we have such great leaders, and so many of you guys have had such great experiences because of your small group, that I think that for a lot of you guys, like small group has played a huge role in it. So Martine, thanks for making sure we covered that. And for those of you who are not graduating, I hope that, when you're at the end of your senior year, that you can have those same thoughts and feelings that Martine has, that says, hey, this isn't just, leaders for high school or friends for high school, but this is a mentor for life in my small group leader. These are friends for life in my small group. And so I think that's the dream. That's the goal of Inside Out. So it's really cool to hear when it works the way it's supposed to. So thanks for sharing, Martine. That was great. All right, last question for you guys is this. The best advice that you would give to everyone who's not graduating this year. So for all of our friends who are not finishing high school, they still got a year or a few years left. What would you tell them to say, hey, if you want to have the best possible experience in high school, now that my time is coming to a close, what would be your best piece of advice to everybody not graduating? Mary Madden, I'll throw it over to you.
Okay, well, I think that this is said a lot and that it kind of sounds cheesy, but I found this to be the most true for myself. I feel like all of high school, I kind of felt like I didn't really, not like fit in, but like I wasn't like most high schoolers and I didn't like enjoy doing certain things that high schoolers did. And so I was kind of always just the mindset, like, I can't wait for this to be like, I just want to go to college. Like I like wished it away. And I really just kind of, was ready for it. And I just thought that I didn't need high school. I didn't need this, whatever. But I think that, especially now that it's been taken away, that even more so, I see that like I should not have taken it for granted. The relationships that I've had in high school with friends, with leaders, with mentors, with people like that, and just like all the memories that I've been able to make or could have made. I just think that that's really something special that you need to be intentional about and not wish it away like I did kind of thing, because it will be gone really quick and there's so much to gain from it. And it is a season of your life for a reason. And I know that in my life and in so many people's, God uses it for many different ways. And so I would just say to really not take it for granted, because it does go by really fast.
That was good, Mary Madden. And I definitely agree that those 4 years fly by. And so make the most of every single piece of it, because this is a season of life, and we have lots of seasons of life. This is one that is a lot of fun, and you can make a lot of great memories in it. And sounds like that's what you're reminiscing on and wanting to do. And just like every season of life, we can't fast forward to the next one, and we can't rewind and go back once we're out of it. So I think that's great words to live by. Just make the most of every memory and every opportunity. Great answer. Halle, I think you had one for this one. What's your best piece of advice to everybody not graduating?
I think advice that I would give to honestly anyone, no matter what age they are, is the importance of community. And a little piece of my story, I think that God intentionally placed me in a season of honestly loneliness for a little while, just so I could pray for the friends that I wanted and the friend that I wanted to be for other people. And a few years down the road, I was able to see the fruit of all that. And I was blessed with honestly the most amazing community. But it just showed me how important it is to surround yourself with people who love you and support you and are going to be there for you no matter what. And I think that's something so awesome about Inside Out, is that community is right there for us, whether it's in our small group or, like a lot of people have said, on your mission trip team or with your small group leaders. And if you're a junior or senior, I think that a huge piece of community can be found at Dive with people from other schools. I think we just have such an awesome opportunity at Inside Out to grow ourselves in community. But my other thing to that advice is not to settle, that when you're looking for friends or mentors or whoever it might be, it's important to align yourselves with people who share the same values as you, the same morals as you, and that are going to be real and genuine friends. But community is just everything. And I think it just makes you so much better, and it makes your life so much better.
That was great, Halle. Thank you. And I love the Dive shout out. Shout out to Chad and Bree for leading that this year and the great job they've done. on our junior senior Bible study on Wednesday nights. And that is, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's a great place to find community outside of your small group, because while we love small group and it's super important, having people that are your people outside of your small group that you hang out with every Sunday night makes Inside Out a lot better and a lot more fun. So mission trips are obviously another great way to do that. So great advice, Halle. Thank you for sharing. All right, Grayson, I think you had one for this one too. Why don't you go ahead and share best piece of advice that you'd give to everybody else?
Yeah, so I'll divvy this up. Rising underclassmen, people who are going to be freshmen, sophomores. I mentioned this earlier, but my best piece of advice to you is seriously go all in. Whether that looks like speaking out in group and taking a courageous step and like saying something kind of vulnerable, do that, because that will build a absolutely necessary foundation in your small group, and you can be the head front to that whole start of that movement in your small group and build that trust that you will value so much later on in the years. And then for upperclassmen, if you're a rising senior, you're a rising junior, now is the time where you've done the ropes and you've kind of seen everything and you've heard the messages a few times. And we talked about this in a message a while back, but they really hit home on is absolutely now is the time for you to start being a leader in Inside Out, whether that means just going out to the front row during worship and just going crazy during worship, just making a fool of yourself just so other people will join in, or whether that means senior leadership, that could be getting involved in a Bible study, whatever that looks like. Now is the time for you to start giving back, so that way you can see the fruits of your work and your volunteering and your love for others come out in other people. And I always say for me is like, I feel so indebted to Inside Out and the people who volunteer and work there, because they've given me something incredible. Like Halle was talking about, the community at Inside Out it's incredible. I don't know who I would be without it. And so I feel like part of me needs to give back and let other people have that. And I want to be responsible for that, And so for upperclassmen who are rising, absolutely, that's my best piece of advice. Start being a leader, start being even more involved, even when it's kind of boring sometimes. Just give back, and it will make a world of difference for you, I promise.
Great answer, Grayson. I thought that was fantastic. And one of the things that we challenged the seniors, the class of 2020, with this year at the first ever senior weekend was to stop being just consumers and be contributors, like to not only make Inside Out fun by your presence, but also to give back and make it better by serving there. And so many of our seniors have done that, and they've lived that for this whole year. And so to all of our senior leadership teams and everybody who made baptisms fun for everybody, our prayer team that prays for everyone week in and week out, our first time guest team, and the people who are greeters and welcoming you and going crazy and making signs and playing music. We've had so many seniors just own Inside Out and make it a better place. And I want to kind of wrap up our time here today by saying that as many seniors we've had that have owned it and made it better, these five right here, these three guys and two girls are the cream of the crop. And they have absolutely given so much blood, sweat, and tears to make Inside Out great. They come early and they stay late, and they go on mission trips, and they go to small group, and they lead by example. And so, guys, I know that I'm not there physically with you to appreciate you and tell you how much I love and have enjoyed working with you guys as interns this year. But from myself and the whole Inside Out team and all of our volunteers and all of your fellow students, like, you've made Inside Out a better place because of the time and energy that you put into it. So from the bottom of my heart, Mary Madden, Grayson, Martine, Halle, Kyle, thank you so much for just all that you've done to make Inside Out fun and better and just a great experience for so many high school students. And to the class of 2020, this is a big week that we have coming up. This next week is going to be our senior week. And so make sure you're checking out social media and keeping an eye on that, as we're going to shout out so many of our seniors in the class of 2020. And also make sure you have your group me's and group messages from your leaders and everybody unmuted, because we have a special little surprise for our class of 2020. So stay tuned for that. I won't give that away yet, but we have a little something for you guys and want to celebrate you well. Even though we can't be in the room and we can't put on caps and gowns and throw hats and do all the normal graduation things, we can still love you guys and just tell you how much we've enjoyed having you at Inside Out the last 4 years. So Class of 2020, congratulations. We love you so much. Thank you for making Inside Out fun. Thank you for making it better. And most of all, thank you for making it the community that all of us benefit from. So my 5 senior interns, great job tonight, guys. We love y'all. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you soon.